Hi guys, for science today we're going to be talking about the ocean. Now with global warming and the climate change that we watched videos from a couple weeks ago, they talked about how the glaciers melting and it's changing the temperature, and then also how much salt is in the ocean. But there's a couple other issues that go along with it and can cause a lot of trouble. One of them is carbon dioxide. The carbon dioxide that's in the air actually gets filtered into the ocean, which seems kind of strange, but it's said that like half of all the carbon dioxide that's been caused or that is around does get absorbed into the ocean, and that causes a little acidity because carbon dioxide it's an acid when it mixes up with water. But kind of the bigger issue that we're going to look at today is what happens when the water warms up. So when the ocean warms up, um, that can have a big effect on the fish that for fisheries and the fishing that we have, and a lot of the world relies on fishing for their food, and also on coral. Now, coral are living things that they're kind of spread out throughout in warmer regions. But if you've been ever lucky enough to go scuba diving, or probably not scuba diving, but if you've ever gone snorkeling, I have. I'm in Florida, and it was really no, it did in Florida, but it was better in Hawaii when I went in Hawaii. But I was able to see like all this coral, and there's all these fish, and there was a moray eel in there, and there were a bunch of other sea animals that were close by. So coral is living, and it's like the skeletons of this, and it's living. When the oceans warm up, it causes a lot of trouble, and the first step that can happen is they called it bleaching. So the coral kind of loses their color. Then the next step after that is if things don't improve or change, they could end up dying. So coral, awful lot of animals rely on coral for their homes, but then also for filtering out things, but then also for food. So we'll see in our videos today. The first one is Jesse talks about from SciShow talks about coral. And there's a bird that's straight up. He just really wants to be in the video. But Jesse from SciShow talks about coral and what they are, and the Great Barrier Reef, which is having some issues too, which is by Australia. Then after that, Jessie, my daughter, said you really need to show the kids how the Earth had water, or how water came on Earth, and it's really a strange thing because most of the water they believe, came from like outer space. It came from asteroids and meteors that hit the Earth and had water and ice on it, and for billions of years, that's a long time, and that was just from the rocks and the meteors crashing down, just kind of collect in the water. It's like a mind-boggling. After that, there is Joe from It's Okay to Be Smart will talk about where the water came from on the Earth. After that, I talk about a little bit about what's happening with the coral and why the bleaching's happening, and then finally there's a video that it's something called Vox Explains. It's really good. It's a like an online newspaper in a way, but they explain different things. It's not hard. It explains, but it talks about bleaching the coral and the things that are happening because of that. 3 questions after that. So watch the videos, answer the questions, submit it, and that would be great.